Hey everyone. In previous videos on this channel, I have mentioned several times that there is no ITSM platform quite like Cherwell. And I think I have to eat my words. Um, I've recently started using GLPI. Setup Software is now a GLPI partner here in the US. Um, and I've gotten further into the platform and especially into the newest version that's still in beta, GLPI 11. So in this video, I want to talk about why I think GLPI is perfect for everybody who is moving off of Cherwell. And I know pretty much everybody says that. Every partner with any platform is saying this is the perfect platform for moving off of Cherwell. But I will tell you why I think GLPI truly is the perfect platform to move to from Cherwell. Um, but first, I want to remind you all that we have a few different ways to get in touch with us, learn more about GLPI and some of the other products and services that we offer. There's links to all of it down in the description below. But in short, we have the what we've called the Cortex users group, which is primarily about Cortex, but you can ask GLPI questions there as well. Um, and we also have a Discord server. Again, links down in the description below to get invites to either or both of those. The users group happens every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. It's a 1 hour call. Anyone who wants to join is welcome. You can stay for as long as you want. You can come every week or only when you have time. And obviously, the Discord server is available all the time. Uh, even when we're sleeping. So again, links down in the description to both of those things. So let's talk about GLPI and specifically moving from Cherwell. Some of the things that you typically lose when you go to most ITSM platforms. One of the things that's front and center is the customizability, the configurability. Everything in Cherwell is customizable, down to where fields are positioned on forms, what fields even exist on a particular record. Um, and aside from ServiceNow, there really isn't any platform that gives you that level of granular control. ServiceNow and Cherwell are both unique in that there really isn't any. Truly, there isn't any base configuration. There is no definition for an incident. You don't have to have an incident in either system. They are all defined within the system. And most platforms, um, pretty much all of the other platforms, they have some concept of an incident. GLPI is no different. That's not why GLPI is the perfect transition plan from Cherwell. But beyond that, GLPI does have that customizability, especially in GLPI 11, the new beta. Lots of things that were in plugins in GLPI 10, that commonly used plugins like custom fields, custom forms, those sorts of things. Those are baked into the core, which means that GLPI is almost as customizable as Cherwell. In fact, I would venture that it is customizable in exactly the way that you want Cherwell to be customizable, and not customizable in the ways that you didn't really care that Cherwell was customizable, right? If you're using Cherwell for ITSM, you want there to be an incident. You want there to be a change. You want there to be a problem. The fact that it's part of the platform, that it's a native core object in GLPI, that's not a problem. That's not a mark against GLPI. That's actually a feature. That means you don't have to worry about configuring those things because they already exist out of the box. And in Cherwell, they existed out of the box too, but that's because they were configured that way out of the box. Um, Another thing that people used a lot in Cherwell was automations through one steps. Now, GLPI doesn't have something quite like one steps. In fact, if you saw the ITSM guide, which actually there's a link down to the ITSM guide that we put together at the end of 2024 after Service Management World, no one really has the automation capabilities exactly like Cherwell. No one has something that's exactly like One Steps. Some platforms have something kind of similar. Some platforms have something more akin to workflows. Some platforms have something more akin to business rules. Um, GLPI has business rules. Uh, and in my opinion, they are, again, configurability for the things that you wanted to configure, but the things that you don't really want to have to worry about configuring are baked in out of the box. Some of those things might have optional configurations through checkboxes and drop downs. So it's a little more guided no code experience. And then even when it comes to things like custom forms, do you really need to be positioning things pixel perfectly on the screen? Probably not. So GLPI doesn't provide that, but it does provide the ability to build custom forms for your service catalog, for your specifics, for things like that. So again, GLPI has struck the balance, I think, really, really well between the things that you should have out of the box and not have to think about versus the things that you want to customize in order to make it work for your specific organization. And this is perfect because the GLPI out of the box works fantastically well for us. And we're a small company. We don't want to spend a lot of time building out our system from the very beginning. But we also have unique requirements because of the type of business that we are. So we can start with an out of the box GLPI and make it custom for our needs, just as easily as large organizations who need extensive customization and have, say, multiple business units, multiple help desks, multiple teams within their help desk. GLPI is powerful enough to support those and provides the configuration, most of which, a lot of which, is in core GLPI. It doesn't even require the addition of plugins. Though, again, there are several plugins out there that lots of people use, and several plugins that um, tend to be just pulled into a base GLPI install. That's like step two. Step one, install GLPI. Step two, install these commonly used plugins. Again, many of which will be part of core GLPI in GLPI 11, which is coming out later this year. But with that, you can start your journey on GLPI with the out of the box core and configure just what you need to. And as your organization evolves, as you evolves, as your team evolves, uh, and as you need more, as you have more requirements, you can add exactly what you need to GLPI. You don't have to take on all of that configuration that you did with Cherwell. Now, to be clear, I love Cherwell. I think Cherwell is a fantastic platform, but that doesn't mean that it's perfect. And I think GLPI does a great job of providing the things that you need in order to get the customization that you require, um, without forcing you to configure a bunch of stuff that you really don't want to fight with. You don't want to worry about thinking about configuring. So I think GLPI is the perfect uh, platform for people coming from Cherwell. Um, in addition to what I've already said, the plugin ecosystem, the plugins that are available, if there's something that you need that isn't in core GLPI, there's probably a plugin that implements it. And if there isn't, you can build a plugin for it. Yes, that does require writing code, but there are partners like ourselves who can write that code for you. And being that we have the background with Cherwell, we understand uh, why you all valued Cherwell a lot in most cases for its no code interface. The plugins that we're building, that we're starting to build even now, have that no code spirit. So there are some plugins already built for GLPI that basically allow you to do some of the same sort of customizations that you were able to do in Cherwell in a GLPI specific way, of course. But things like custom assets, right? Configuration items in Cherwell is just adding another group member. Well, in GLPI, you create a custom asset. That's in GLPI 10, that's a plugin. In GLPI 11, I believe that's part of the core platform. Um, but that's a thing that you can do in GLPI. But again, it's in its own GLPI way because it has the core implementation kind of as its foundation, right? Assets are assets. They're not just general purpose business objects. Uh, but even that being said, if there's something that it doesn't provide and isn't provided by a plugin, we can write a custom plugin for you, and it can be anywhere from being very custom, exactly the specifically the code to do exactly what you need it to do, or code to do something in kind of a no code configurable fashion so that as you grow and evolve and need to change uh, certain aspects of how you've built out your system, you can make those changes without having to go down to the code or call us to make code changes to your plugins. Again, GLPI absolutely as flexible as Cherwell was. Maybe not in exactly the same way, but definitely if you're looking for something that is capable of doing everything that Cherwell could do, and you don't want to pay for ServiceNow, again, ServiceNow is the other option. ServiceNow is definitely capable of doing everything Cherwell could do and more. GLPI is also capable of doing everything Cherwell could do and probably more. But in a different package, right? So definitely, I highly recommend checking out GLPI if you haven't already. If you want a demo, definitely let us know. You can find contact information for me down in the description below. Book time on my calendar, ask for a GLPI demo. I'd be more than happy to show you in more detail why I'm excited about GLPI. I'll even show you how we're using GLPI internally to run. Right now, we're just running our support through GLPI, but I plan on adding more and more stuff to GLPI because it's making our support side easier and it's kind of automating that side of our business. So I'm excited about it. If you have questions, let me know. Let's schedule some time. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.